Yeah, let's get ready to roll. So, on this episode of Sci-Fi Express Lane, I'm going to talk about the Black Nun. I'm going to talk about my movie, The Black Nun. Yo, I really felt inspired by having done a lot of movie panels at film festivals and all types of stuff with my movies. And when I started to write The Black Nun, it was a culmination of all of those things that I have felt. You know, being a black filmmaker, making low budget B movies, it's a lonely job, right? A lonely area, and I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 other guys, and they made their 2 movies and they bounced. You know, I'm on 4 movies, and I have I have 2 more in the can, and I plan to make sequels and trequels and quadruplets, right? If that's a word, or maybe I'm gonna coin it, right? To my movies and keep it going. And also I'm bridging this over into comic books and other things. So you're gonna have a media universe. So the Black Nun is straight B movie. It is unapologetically inspired by the Nun movies. So this is the story of the Black Nun and how it came to happen. And then from here, I'm gonna let you see the trailer. And then also on this same network, YouTube, the movie is playing for free. So it's got over 100,000 views. You might have already seen it, but I want you to get an idea of what fueled my creativity. So The Black Nun was a movie that I pitched in a movie pitch. Okay? It's crazy, right? So I went to the American film market in 2017 or 2018. I'm sorry, 2018. And I was going to pitch my movie, The Death Pledge. Now, I fully embraced it, tried to do what no other filmmaker did, and I went to the meeting with the distribution company that does, specializes in movies like I have had, that The Death Pledge was. That was my 3rd movie. And I was in costume. So I went to the pitch meeting in cosplay-ish. I went in costume, but I wasn't going as my killer cosplaying them. And in the movie, I saw they had a bunch of knockoff movies, a B movie, you know, like how they came out with Pacific Rim. Another movie company came out with Atlantic Rim, you know, and so it was these movies go on. So I saw them had a movie like The Nun, you know, and I said, wow, I can come up with a Nun movie in my head, right? So, because The Death Pledge, I came up with The Death Pledge. I was like, yo, we need a killer that's not Candyman, because Candyman don't wear a mask, and all he wears is a jacket, a coat, and that's not scary like Freddy. It's scary, you know, but it ain't scary like Freddy or Jason or Michael, any of the mask or deformed face dudes. So that was my source and motivation in creating Baba from The Death Pledge. But it was called The Death Pledge. It didn't sound like anything else. And I saw on the wall they had a movie called The Bad Nun. And I was like, oh, this is a challenge. I said to the dude, I said, if you take my movie, I'll make a sequel called The Black Nun. And that was the challenge that I put out. And I was like, I don't have no story. I don't have anything. I just have this title, and it's a bootleg. But, you know, all good bootleg movies can't really copy the same storyline as the movie that you bootleg. So, or that's not really bootlegging. You're inspired. I forgot what movie makers like me call it, but you know, you can't infringe on copyright. You could just take similar name and similar story. If it's robots or whatever, it's zombies, whatever, you can still stay in the same lane of genre, but you can't plagiarize. So I took the Black Nun and went back, pinned it. I think I pinned it in like 2 weeks. I don't know what y'all may think or whatever, but I like the movie. I like the story. It came together. I was inspired, as people would say on the internet, by the Jewish Methuselah, right? And I know I'm saying it wrong, but that little pendant they put on the door frame of Jewish houses to protect or bless the house, right? I was inspired by that. I was like, yo, the Nun is a picture, and I was like, nah, I can't go picture. Now there will be pictures of the Black Nun, but it's not going to be, shout out to my man Edmund, man. That might be a project that you can take on. So, you got to get my man to paint some horror. So, I came up with this other type of thing, and I said, what if they took a little figurine, and that figurine would be attached to the doors, and that would signify to whomever that they were protected by the Black Nun. So that was my jump off, right? And then from when I went into, how could this person, protect, this deity, this entity is better, right? This entity protect people. And I came up with a story, and I said, well, I can't shoot this all over the world, and it's really a contained story. It doesn't need to be shot all over the world. There's a story about a house protected by the Black Nun, and I wanted to put in there, so I threw in the element of hoteps, right? This was a show that I came up with to extend the death pledge. I was like, damn, we need 10, 15 more minutes. I can't do 10, 15 more minutes of me talking. How about a podcast? So I came up with the Hotep Show. And Hotep Show worked for the death pledge. And I said, if I'm writing, I'm going to write it into the Black Nun. So the story, the Hotep Show actually is, the Hotep podcast is where they get their energy from to bring out the Third Eye Doctor and myself, character played by myself, Dr. Bryant, to re-invite or deal with this entity, the Black Nun. And man, we extended it, and I kind of wanted to summon my inner Hotep, because I embrace Hoteps, right? They say it as a derogatory use. I want to flip that and turn it into a useful use, right? A useful use. Something that's not derogatory, because sure, there's crazy dudes out there that's crazy homophobic, and they slinging mud, and they love Africa, and they use Africa as their starting point to sling their mud. But F that, you know what I'm saying? Africa ain't got only conservative, homophobic fans, right? Or I wouldn't say homophobic, dudes that's anti-homosexuality fans. There's people that love Africa and that will debate both sides, right? I'll debate the LGBT community, and I'll debate the dudes that's anti homosexuality. You know what I'm saying? In terms of when it comes to acceptance and how to proceed, whatever the heck they think their problem is. So and come for my Hotep card. I've been Hoteping since I was sophomore year in college. I'll say that. I was conscious before that, but I started saying Hotep as a greeting because of my mentors, Dr. Barbara Wheeler, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, and James Small. Those is my mentors. Those is my people. So, I defended, Hotep. My character, Dr. Bryant, is Dr. Jeffries or Dr. John Henry Clark, but it would be a younger Dr. Clark. All of those is my mentors and inspirational people that help shape me, in addition to my mother and my father. So I take that, no problem. So I try to do them justice in there. Try to do, go young. I took inspiration from another brother I never met, Brother Sarnetta, my brother Dr. Reggie and James Small have been pushing and trying to connect me to Sinetta. So I was like, you know what, let me flip this. So if the show has future similarities to Sinetta TV, I may do a debate or whatever. That's not, unrealistic, because that's where I was inspired. And then another element of the Black Nun was really just this entity of African spirituality and deities instead of gods, right? Entities instead of gods. This God concept stuff is misunderstood, and they really were just references, right? So, in the African civilization and African traditional cultures, right? And I'm just using very broad words because I ain't trying to debate nobody. I steered clear of true African deities when I created Baba's Mask. I used the Garvey colors of red, black, and green, and I didn't go any further, didn't stem anywhere. With the Black Nun, I steered clear of being too descriptive of her energy. And now for my comic book that I'm coming up with, the Black Nun versus Krampus, I got to get a little bit into her religion or her spirituality in the Church of the Black Nun. So that's that. So that also will be the sequel, the Black Nun versus Krampus. I created a nice black Krampus story. So the Santa Claus might be black too. I don't know. Who cares? But it's about Krampus, and you're gonna see that. So I wanted to give you a little bit of background on the Black Nun. Her story and her history is in there. We shot the Black Nun in, I would say, 3 days, but it was really over a week, where I shot 2 movies in 1 week. And the Black Nun was the first movie to come out of the 2 movies that I shot. Both of them have distribution. Both of them will be coming out for real. And they're both good, you know what I'm saying, on the low budget level. And I'm embracing all that. So bring whatever hate you want to bring, but you will enjoy it. The story makes sense. I'm going tonight or tomorrow to watch Malignant, another movie that they say is hot trash, garbage, but very enjoyable. And that's what they say about B movies. So anyway, I'm home. I'm going to put the trailer for the Black Nun right after this video. So thank you very much. Sci-Fi Express Lane, a little different, but it's all me. All right, peace, y'all.
Today you will earn your keep. Do you understand, Witch Nun?
Did you see her?
See her? See who?
The lady, she was in here. She attacked me.
Ain't none of you scaring us away. Now you're saying that this is a haunted house and it's some old slave ghost?